Conservatives are feeling the heavy hand of censorship in the United States and across Western Europe. Their social media accounts are being banned, blocked, and canceled on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook, often over criticism of Islam or immigration. British anti-Islamization activist Tommy Robinson has had his Twitter account suspended again after he tweeted that Islam promotes killing. A German activist received a 6-month suspended jail sentence for calling Islam a fascist ideology. A 65-year-old Swedish woman faced charges for saying immigration from the Third World will lead to low IQs. She was only cleared because authorities couldn't prove it was her. 2 weeks ago, 3 conservative activists were refused entry into Britain because Britain's border police said they were likely to incite tensions between local communities in the United Kingdom. One was interrogated as a terrorist and was asked if she was a, quote, Christian extremist. This is the same British border police which allowed more than 400 former ISIS fighters to return to Britain for, quote, reintegration. Authorities in Britain now seem more interested in fighting hate speech on the internet than fighting crime, and are warning social media users that their comments are being monitored. But Sweden is taking the most aggressive approach against free speech, with a proposed new law that would make it a serious offense to embarrass the Swedish government internationally, and another that would make it harder to show that immigrants are responsible for most violent crime. Crime is now so bad in some parts of Sweden, there's been talk of calling out the army to help the police. But the new law would ban the public use of government data that could identify the ethnic origins of criminals.
We are moving into authoritarian state, actually.
Johan Westerholm runs a website critical of uncontrolled immigration in Sweden, but he's not sure how much longer before it's shut down.
If I report in a way that puts Sweden in a bad standing or in a bad position in a relationship to other countries, even if what I'm reporting is true, is relevant, and is fact-based, that might be a criminal act. So that might be that I might have to go to prison for life for that kind of reporting.
If you can't fix the problem, punish the critics. That's the new strategy in Sweden, where the establishment realizes it can no longer hide the truth about Sweden's immigration disaster.
We call the critics foul names and say that the problem is racism. That's the problem. The reason why immigrants are not getting jobs is because of racism.
Iranian-born Swedish lawmaker Hanif Bali takes heavy criticism for his opposition to Sweden's immigration policy, even though he himself is an immigrant.
I'm not only called racist, I'm also called Uncle Tom, and I'm also called house nigger. I've been compared to Dr. Mengele. And it's not from, just average people. This is, well-established opinion journalists and politicians.
The Swedish media pioneered what is now called doxing, exposing the identities and addresses of people who express the wrong opinions online. This video we showed you 4 years ago shows a Swedish journalist going to the home of a man who posted in a right-wing forum, and then publishing the video nationwide. The man reportedly lost his job. This group, with a name that means Internet Hate Surveyor, hunts down politically incorrect speech and reports people to the authorities. It receives funding from the Swedish government. But Sweden's worsening crackdown on free speech will do nothing to fix any of the real problems that have created the speech in the first place. It's as if the government thinks if it can just stop people from talking negatively about the problems will go away.
There is not a single study about how immigration has causally affected crime in Sweden. That's absurd, I would argue. The government, even in the last 12 years, has stopped publishing the statistics. So nobody knows, really, what percentage of total crime last year was committed by immigrants. The numbers are collected, but not used.
And Westerholm compares planned new laws to a new McCarthyism that will hunt down and silence critics of immigration.
The government, through a more repressive and restrictive media legislation, they will be able to shut independent media voices down.
Swedes will proudly tell you that their law protecting freedom of speech is older than the United States. But freedom of speech is being crushed in Sweden and across the Western world in the name of political correctness. And it doesn't matter if what's being crushed is the truth. Dale Hurd, CBN News, Stockholm.